Let us hear from Tanushri Karkhadis, Solution Engineer, SAP India, on building foundation for AI and innovation with SAP Business Data Cloud. Ms. Tanushri.
Thank you. I hope I'm audible. Yeah. Thank you, Arun sir and Mukesh sir. Very refreshing and great perspective. Now, next, I've been given a job. But before that, I wanted to point out that while SAP in this industry specifically is recognized for the different apps that we have built or ERP or how much industry support we provide, we aren't exactly looked at as a partner when it comes to data. But in fact, we have been doing a lot of great work around data, providing data warehousing, analytics, a lot of good work going in that area. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to try and explain what Stefan sort of touched upon initially. As in, we have a layer now, and we made a very big investment announcement around BDC, which is the Business Data Cloud, which understands what a consumer or a CIO, CXO wants. We understand the nature in which these building blocks within SAP are. With that, my name is Tanushri Karkhadis. I am standing between you and your coffee break, but allow me 10 to 15 minutes and we will clear this conceptually. Yeah? So, like I said, we've been playing in the data management, analytics, and the insight part for quite a bit. But we've been constantly getting feedback that how do we take our insights back to our businesses? How do they take action on the go? When I'm punching a PO, do I get a pop-up saying a particular supplier is in the yellow risk category, and do I still want to continue with the purchasing order? Or how do I go and help my business user create a sales order quickly? And we understand that there have been certain missing pieces in the puzzle, so we have worked on that. And talking specifically about certain challenges that we see in this industry is around different systems, okay? They make your landscape very heterogeneous. Naturally, it's difficult to get them on the same platform or interoperability. Then we're talking about real-time insights, but there's a constant threat or sword, I would say, when it comes to data privacy, data security, it's sort of a tension. Compliance is a big part. And of course, the data quality and accuracy. But what I'm hearing most is that we typically collect a lot of IoT data, or there's historians. There's a lot of high volume data, and mining that data is a challenge. So we have tried to fix all of these things, and from a system where there's a lot of pipelines and data movement and fetching data from one entity, feeding it to the other, data inconsistencies, we are moving to a more harmonized view of data. For a business user, it doesn't matter where the data is coming from, but there is seamless integration, and you feed the necessary data in the necessary format to your analytics applications, to your AI, to whatever it is that you want to do with the gold mine of data that you're sitting on. So we are moving to a more of data products economy. I know this is a bit of jargon, so I'll show you what I mean by that in action. Okay, but let's say now, as a manufacturing head, I want to look at all the KPIs. I want the real-time insights on what is happening at my shop floor, right from shop floor to top floor rather. So whether it's manufacturing, whether it's details of a particular assembly line, supply chain, or your operations, you get all of this data in a very easy to consume format. And how are we doing this? Like I said, the Business Data Cloud, which is our data fabric, is what is helping us. So at the bottom, we have data products, which is a model that understands how different CDS views are, that understands which user wants what kind of data. Now, earlier also, we were giving this in some shape or form, okay? But we saw that a lot of customers struggled with the data plumbing, even then. So now we have taken that onus, and this is an entirely SAP-managed SaaS offering, right? So when I talk about working capital, whatever you need for that, will be SAP's problem to get it to you. Okay? Then we have, so the second layer, sorry, that was the data products. Second layer of, and we announced a very big partnership with Databricks. So right from your data, if you, let's say, want to start charting out something in a notebook and you want to build a proper pipeline or you want to build an ML function, you can do that using Databricks directly out of BDC. And third, how you want to consume it. So as a business user, however it is the format that is more, I would say, more consumable by you, we give it to you through Inside Apps. Now, how does all of this come together? What am I talking? Let's see that in action. Yeah? So let's say, now this is all SaaS, right? So I just want to spin off an instance for BDC, and I think there'll be some engineering required, so I'm going to create an instance for Databricks as well, and simply launch it. So I've activated it, and I can choose what all I want to add to this formation. Right now, I'm going to add ERP, but you could add other systems as well. Within ERP also, you can create or activate any number of data products. I'm going to install working capital. It gives me a theory on what is available within working capital, some documentation. I'm liking it, so I'm going to install it. Which means the person who now, the FI user who wants to see working capital, this is the kind of dashboards he sees. So whether it's cash flow, whether it's accounts receivables, yeah, you can drill down into anything. You can do predictive planning, all of that. But I have some external data. I have non-SAP data sitting in Azure, and I want to blend that with my current analysis. So I have a pretty chart prepared, but now I want to add that Azure data set into the same chart. So I'm just going to drag and drop that data set from Azure, and now my same DSO analysis will even have this external data from Azure. Creating a chart now is this simple, okay? Which is great, but now I feel that I want to do some sort of a ML also, right? So I just activate my Databricks notebook from my BDC itself, yeah? I have my data engineers who can start writing code. I don't have to worry about any libraries, Pandas, PyTorch, all of that is interoperable. I can read data from any source, and I can just push it out. Like before, I'm just adding the predictive data set now to my analysis, and whatever DSO charts I was seeing before, they will even show me risk parameters or aging buckets, everything that was a part of the data science notebook from Databricks. Of course, if I want Joule to answer something, I want to drill down, I want additional information, I can ask Joule and it can prepare that chart for me, right? So what I'm saying is everything from data prep to data consumption to data engineering, all through one cockpit, very well connected, with our own object store and Spark to read out of that object store. So now we have our very own data lake, and you can store high value, high volume data there. And like I showed you, working capital for one persona, we have a lot of data products across all personas. Yeah? Some of them are on roadmap, some of them are already available. But talking about the skill set based personas. So we sort of satisfy business users who have a low code, no code tendency, as well as users who have an affinity for pro code. Yeah? And all of this is infused with AI. Now, I'm not going to be talking more about AI right now because I know that Fokat is going to talk to you later. But just to give you a glimpse of how we are doing it through AI, we have a three-pronged strategy. First is Joule, our digital assistant. You talk to it, you ask it any question, it will throw out answers. We are also talking about AI agents. So small agents doing a narrow job and then acting together in a sequence. We have Joule for developers, so you can just type in whatever your constraints or app that you're trying to build in English language, and it will throw out Java code and so on. We have Joule for consultants, which is a game changer. So anybody who's struggling with RISE implementations can now just take help from Joule. Yeah? Then we have around 190 embedded scenarios. We have embedded AI use cases in entire SAP portfolio. So whether it's ERP or HR or procurement, you have use cases that you can just activate. All right? This gives all the business users easy access without being data scientists. Okay, so everyone's using AI. AI is the new UI, as they call it. Yeah? However, we understand that there are certain industry-specific problems, certain organization-specific use cases, which are not addressed in these 190, and we are going to reach 300 use cases end of this year. For those custom scenarios, we can actually build out AI models, AI scenarios from scratch using our AI foundation. And like Stefan mentioned, we beautifully have a strategy of partnering with all the LLM players. So what happens is you're not locked in with one particular vendor. You feel manufacturing gives you better inferences with Mistral, great, go for it. But if you feel supply chain is giving you better inferences with Aleph Alpha, or some other department with Falcon 40, you have that option, because we give you like a carousel view, and you can select whichever problem needs whichever LLM. So we can build out custom scenarios as well. And why I call this a beautiful part is because tomorrow if somebody like DeepSeek comes in and they sort of disrupt this area, we don't go a lot of change. We just change one parameter and we'll be able to partner with others, and we will never fall into the NVIDIA trap of sorts. Yeah, so this is what we have in terms of Gen AI. But remember, not all problems are Gen AI problems. So a lot of intelligence scenarios throughout processes can be solved with classic AI ML, right? And we are in the sweet spot where we can even look at HANA's PAL library and an exhaustive list of algorithms and be able to deliver across the entire spectrum of intelligence scenarios. So whether it is Joule, whether it is embedded scenario, whether it is a custom Gen AI for summarization of mails or looking through your policies, or whether it is classic AI ML, whether it is RPA, this one single platform has it all. And we have done this for some customers. So for example, the maintenance planning advisor, almost 20 to 25% reduction in the unplanned downtime. And we have built these in partnership with Accenture for some of our customers. But some really good stuff happening around inventory, for example. So while we were also able to address obsolescence in the inventory, providing a visibility of products that are going to expire and their slow movement. We had done an ABC analysis on the basis of value and a runner, repeater, stranger on the basis of movement. But the primary goal of this use case was to reduce the surplus inventory carrying costs. And we were able to achieve 10 to 15% reduction in that. Of course, manufacturing shop floor assistant, real-time visibility into everything that you want. And throughout the day, I know that Foucault and everyone else is also going to discuss more use cases, but this is what I had to talk to you about. I'm going to be here for some time, so if you feel that any of these data issues, any of these AI issues were relevant, please reach out, either to me or to a lot of our folks here from SAP or representatives, and we will surely get back on what we can do next in a very realistic way, something that can be achieved. Yeah? So with that, I give you back 6 minutes for your coffee. Yeah? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tanushree, for the enlightening insights of SAP, BDC, and AI. Your expertise has truly broadened our understanding and sparked our curiosity on the topic. Thank you all for your active participation in the sessions we had so far. As we move forward, we'll be breaking into 2 distinct tracks. Distinct track, one track focusing on metal and mining, other track focusing on chemical mills and building material. In these tracks, we'll be hearing inspiring customer stories and experience sharing, along with insightful sessions from SAP experts. We will explore how SAP technologies and applications are unlocking opportunities across the value chain and enhancing processes in these industries. So let's take a quick 15 minutes break. Enjoy your break, and we'll reconvene shortly to continue our journey to discovery and innovation. Let's have a good tea break.